Welcome to Blackhawk Legends. It's truly an honor to be next to two Hall of Famers and forever Chicago Blackhawks, Mr. Bobby Hull and Mr. Stan Mikita. I'm Dan Kelly, and today we're going to skate back into time to December 11th, 1971. In a game between the Hawks and Toronto Maple Leafs, the two men sitting next to me were the first members of the Blackhawks family to have their numbers retired. In the 1971-72 season, Hull and Mikita combined for a total of 155 points. Bobby Hull led the Hawks with 50 goals. By this time, the league had expanded to 14 teams. Bobby, when you played, this league was a lot smaller than the 30-team league we see today. What was it like when you played an original six-team like Toronto? Was there a lot of hatred? How many times would you usually face them in one season?
Well, as you know, Dan, and maybe the viewing public didn't know, we played one another 14 times a year back then. There were just the 6 teams, and 14 times during the regular schedule, and then exhibition games, and then the playoffs if we made the playoffs. And even before that, when Stan and I played junior in St. Catharines, they were a Chicago Blackhawk sponsored farm team. We used to play against the Toronto St. Michael's team and the Marlboros, and they were all sponsored by the Toronto Maple Leafs. And when we played against them, we built up a rivalry in junior hockey that carried right on into professional hockey. And when we turned pro, we were turning pro against the same guys that we were locking horns with playing junior hockey. So there was that tremendous rivalry that we started playing junior hockey and carried on right through into professional hockey.
Now, Stan, in the 1960s, you led the leagues in scoring 4 times, Bobby 3. Was there a little competition between you two back in the day?
I think we've always had competition, but never anything that would escalate into hatred or jealousy or something like that.
I was jealous of you, I know that.
Why? Because I married Jill?
Because you were a better player than I am.
No, it was always not 100% going against each other. The team was always first. Let's win the game, and then if we can accumulate a few stats as we go along, that's fine. But there was nothing against one another.
I think line against line sometimes.
I'll rephrase that. There was one time, and it really had nothing to do with hockey. We were out in Vancouver for an exhibition game, and somebody suggested going for a fishing trip, half day or something. So we did. Bobby caught a king salmon, at least that, maybe this big. And,
spring salmon.
And I said, Bobby, bring it in. And I got the net right here. I had no idea what to do with it. I shoved the net in there, and instead of hitting the fish or catching the fish, I hit his line, and you know what happened after that. He chased me around that little boat. Well,
it was just like
the guys jumped in between us. If he'd have caught me, honest to God, he would have killed me.
It was just like spearing Henri Richard.
I had to relearn that.
I'll never forget that. I'd love to fish, and we loved to catch
That's the only rivalry we had was on the fishing boat.
Thanks for the memories, gentlemen. Just a little personality in this room. We'll see more of that personality. Let's rewind back in time to Toronto, 1971.
Tonight, from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada presents the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Good evening and welcome. I'm Dave Hodge. It is generally agreed that the season's best game at the Gardens was produced by these two teams, a 3-3 tie. Bob Golden analyzed that one. He's back in the same capacity along with the Hawks and the Leafs as Hockey Night in Canada returns with the opening face.
Hi everybody, Harry Carey here to introduce Advanced TV from AT&T, the newest choice for your television in Chicago. Advanced TV's 100% all digital, DVR included. Nobody knows where DVR comes from. It kind of just shows up like meteorites or government cheese.
Now with DVR included and $50 cash back.
DVR spelled backwards is rived.
Bill Hewitt and Bob Golden here in the gondola at Maple Leaf Gardens, and the Chicago Blackhawks and the Toronto Maple Leafs are out on the ice now for the first period. What about some lineup changes, Goldie?
The only ones we have for Chicago, Bill, Jim Pappen was injured last time here, still not back, and for the Leafs out tonight, Brian Glennie and Brian Spencer not dressed.
Okay, Goldie, now the two teams have been called to center ice for our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Looking at the officials for tonight's game as a group at center ice, the referee is Art Scove, number 2, and the linesmen are Ron Hogarth, number 35, and Leon Stickle, number 30. And goalkeepers tonight for the Chicago Blackhawks, number 35, Tony Esposito. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 1, Jacques Plante. Stan Mikita, 21 at center. Dennis Hull, number 10 on the left side, and number 20 is Cliff Coral. Magnuson is 3, Garrett is 4, and Monahan, 20 of the Leafs, comes out. He's got McMillan, 12, and Keon, 14. The three of them over the line for Monahan. Monahan takes his shot. And Keon tried to deflect it into the goal as Esposito lost sight of it.
Take another look at that one. Gary Monahan with a sharp shot off that left wing, picking up the pass, and there's the shot. Esposito taking it on his arm and then losing sight of the puck as he looked behind the net. And Keon coming in, and just at the last moment, puck being checked away by Keith Magnuson.
Magnuson back of the hot goal. Keon after him. Magnuson still in possession. Shot it for Makita. Comes out to Coral. Coral over the blue line over at center. And he shot the puck into the Leaf zone. Quite easily handling it to McMillan. Bill McMillan for Gary Monahan. Back to McMillan. McMillan at center with Keon. A long shot wide of the net. Dennis Hull shot it up for Stan Mikita. Bond stopped in. Gary Monahan shoots the puck back into the Hawk zone. Magnuson back of the goal. Shot it into the corner. Jarrett ahead to Stan Mikita. Mikita up at center. He shot it through. Plant stopped it. Monahan back for it. Makita checked him. Makita trying to center it. He did. There's a shot. Plant stopped that. Garrett takes a shot that's weak. Keon, a pass intercepted as Ellis nearly got loose. Jarrett shoots it right back in again. Bob Bond after it. Bond for Ellis. Stopped by Dennis Hull, and he skates back at center. A pass for Chico Mackey. Stopped by Monahan, and he shot it into the crowd on a deflection.
There are lots of ways to get around in Illinois, but if you don't have auto insurance, driving isn't one of them. New tougher laws can fine you up to $1,000 and take away your license for 3 months or longer. So play it safe with Safe Auto. We keep you legal for less with a minimum required coverage and low monthly payments. There are lots of ways to get around Illinois, but there's no way around the law. If you want to keep driving, call
1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Safe Auto.
Pip Martin at center ice with Mackey and Bobby Hull on the wings, and we have White and Stapleton on the defense facing Ullman, Henderson, and Ellis, Selwood, and Dory. White gives it to Stapleton at center. His pass for Martin. Puck drives Plant, tipping it over to Ellis. Ellis off the boards for Jim Dory. Dory covered by Bobby Hull. He knocked Hull down. Going to be a penalty here. A holding penalty to Jim Dory.
With free incoming calls, you never use minutes on calls you get.
Oh, that's good, because I get a lot of calls.
Good.
Pretty popular.
Well, this is the perfect plan for keeping in touch with friends and family.
Someone's gonna call, like, right now. You watch. Hello? Good thing I had it on vibrate.
Free incoming call plans. It's why U.S. Cellular is wireless where you matter most.
Jim Dory, a holding penalty at 1:46. The Leafs are shorthanded. There's no score in this hockey game. Pat Stapleton. Off the boards it goes to Andre Lacroix. Lacroix takes a look. Bond watches him. It's out in front for Bobby Hull. Shot. Oh, and Jack Bond stopped that quick wrist shot by Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull taking that pass as Andy Lacroix set him up in the middle, and he got his puck on it, and that caught Jock Pond high just below the face mask, and a good save by Pond. Very alert. 18:04 remaining in the first period. There's no score. Hawks with the advantage as the Leafs shoot it down the ice. Ricky Lee. Pat Stapleton going back for it. Mike Pellick is out there with Dennis Duperi. Bond and Lee. Stapleton leading a five-man rush. A long shot off the board. Clock came out of the net, knocked it into the corner, flipped it up for Pellick. Pellick holding it with his skate, lost it. It's Kit Martin to Lacroix. Lacroix back to Stapleton. Stapleton off the board to Lacroix again. Andre Lacroix trying to come from the side, and he passed to the hit Bond stick. Lacroix again over to Stapleton. A shot, that's deflected wide. Bond letting it loose, sent it out in front to Bobby Hull. He's too well covered. Dennis Duperi couldn't get away. Pellick does up the center, and he's checked by Lacroix. Lacroix given a shove, but has possession. Dropping it back to Bobby Hull. Here comes Bobby Hull. And he couldn't get it over the line. Mackey will try his luck. Back to Hull. Hull chased back by Pellick. Bobby Hull over to Pitt Martin. Martin coming in on the right side. Passed it in front. Dennis Duperi lost possession. Bond went after Lacroix. Down goes Lacroix. The puck is loose. Nico Mackey centers it to Stapleton. Here's his shot, and that's wide. 19 seconds left in the penalty as Bobby Hull hits one off Pellick. Out to center. Stapleton a long shot. Kloss got that. Flipping it up for Mike Pellick. He shot it, but not out. Bobby Hull takes a look. Lets his shot go. Kloss stopped that. It's against the board. Pitt Martin getting it to Hull. And he's stopped by Dory. Dory with Sittler. Sittler over the line. Takes his shot, and that's wide. Sittler was knocked down. Bobby Hull coming out of his own zone. Clearing it to Stapleton. Stapleton was stopped by Trottier. Pellick leaves the ice. Brad Selwood. To Jim McKinney. Up to Darryl Sittler. For Guy Trottier. He takes a long shot. That was right on Esposito. Clearing it over to number 17, Darryl Maggs. Harrison knocked him flying. Here's Trottier with the puck. Trying to center it. There it is, hit by Harrison. Trottier shot. Esposito's got a hold of that and play his call. Jimmy Harrison certainly putting on an aggressive display. Yeah, he and young Maggs ran together there, and Maggs found out that Harrison's a pretty tough customer. But that was a nice move by Guy Trottier coming out from behind the net, and he forced Tony Esposito a pretty good save. There's no score in this first period. Pat Stapleton, number 12, gets it out on the left wing. Ryan Campbell, he hit O'Shea. White shoots the puck in. Selwood back for it. Selwood to Harrison. Harrison to Trottier. Trottier over to Dory. Back for Trottier behind him. Offside from inside the blue line over the red line at center. And number 2, Bill Wright. And you think that he and Dale Rolfe are playing for Los Angeles, you wonder. That's one of Jack Kent Cook's good bargains there, and Chicago are very fortunate to get a hockey player of Bill White's caliber. He's probably teaming up with Pat Stable, and he gives them one of the best, if not the best, defense in the National Hockey League. Harrison against Brian Campbell. Maggs is 17, and O'Shea is number 11 for the Hawks. Jim Dory, straight up at center. Shot the puck over the line. Sittler got the puck and then was checked by Campbell, who came from nowhere to cover him. Then Sittler stole the puck again. Then White covers up for the Hawks, getting it to the line. Maggs missed a body check from Dory. White has possession. White with a pass for Campbell. Clark came out of the net, flipped it into the corner. Back of the goal for Dory. Dory straight down the ice to Harrison. Harrison flicks it in. Esposito shoots it around on the boards. Comes for Dory. Dory took a whack at it. Sittler tries to help him out. White on a deflection off Dory ends up on Campbell's stick. Campbell over the blue line with the Shea. Took his shot wide of the net. White moves up with a hard shot. That's off the target. And it rebounds out to center ice. McMillan just failed to get loose. McMillan has possession. Shot it to the Hawk line, and the two teams are changing while the play is in progress. Stan Mikita trying to go around Dory. Dory flipped it over to the wing. McMillan trying to the Dennis Hull, and it's Keon getting it out to center. Bill White, a long shot off the target. Dennis Hull let one fly. Then Keon in possession.
Now is the time. Here is the place. And this is the truck. Chevy Silverado Half-Ton, the full-size pickup available with best-in-class fuel economy. Well-qualified buyers, get yours with 0% APR financing for 60 months. Shop Chevy now. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Magnuson has a interference penalty at 7:01. We have 12:59 remaining in the first period. There's no score. Here it goes back to McKinney. A shot right in front of the net. A drive. That hit the post. Dave Keon back at his blue line. With Elman. Ellis takes the pass. Goes around Jarrett. Lost possession of the puck to Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull trying to get away from Elman. Shot it out to center ice. Keon to McKinney. McKinney with Elman. Outside is Henderson. And the face-off will be outside the Chicago blue line.
Number 18, Jim McKinney, made a great move with that blue line. The only trouble is his left right wing, Ron Ellis, had hopped in ahead of him about a stride. But a nice move by McKinney.
Keith Magnuson has 1 minute and 32 seconds left in his penalty. There's no score in the game. We have 12:31 remaining in the first period. Eric Nestorenko, number 15, out there now for the Hawks. With Luan Gotti, White, and Jarrett. Jim McKinney trying to get around. What he does, he gets his shot away. Keon looked for a rebound, but there wasn't one. Nestorenko carrying it but not out. Henderson trying to hold it in. It's along the blue line. Finally, Elman digs it out to McKinney, who's lost his glove. McKinney to Keon, over for Henderson. Henderson let his shot go. That's wide. Ellis dropping it to Elman. Elman trying to get in front. Shot it over for Keon. Broken up by Nestorenko. Nestorenko gets it down the ice. And it's Elman going back for it. Elman, Ellis, Keon, and Henderson. Straight up the ice at center. A pass for Keon for Henderson. And that was broken up at the blue line. Now then Ellis will try his luck. He gets over the line. Too well covered by Angotti, and Angotti shoots it down the ice. And the checking of the Hawks has been letter perfect here in this first period, as they have kept at least from any real threatening chances. Angotti's got it again for the Hawks. He finds an opening and shoots it down the ice. There's only 8 seconds left in Magnuson's penalty. Rick Lee coming down over the blue line at center. A pass for Monahan. Monahan stops. Shot it for Ullman. right back to Vaughn. Vaughn shoots. Right in front. Hellman tried to get a whack at it, and it was shot down the ice by the Hawks. But it touched the Leaf player on the way down, so there's no icing on the play. 10:42 remaining in the first period. No score. And the Hawks are back at full strength. Donnie Marshall out there now for the Leafs. Bobby Hull in possession. Trying to go around McMillan. Shot the puck into the corner. It goes deflecting the Plot. Monahan back of the net. Shot it around for McMillan. McMillan and Pitt Martin. McMillan checked by Mackey. Mackey for Bobby Hull. Ends up on Rick Lee's stick. Then for Donnie Marshall. Marshall up at center. Pitt Martin spun him around. Martin then a pass for Hull, intercepted by Lee. And the play is a little scrambly here with the checking so close. Monahan to McMillan. McMillan up at center. His pass hit Magnuson's skate, but he goes back to cover. Magnuson pulled away from McMillan and Marshall. He's a four-man rush to Bobby Hull. Trying to go around Vaughn. Vaughn grabs him. And there's going to be a penalty there to Bob Vaughn. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Every night, only one show brings you closer to the teams that matter most. Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet. Highlights of the games you care about. Breaking news that has Chicago talking. Interviews with the biggest names. And the time to tell in-depth stories. If you're a fan of Chicago sports, then this is your show. Sports Night, every night at 6:30, 10, and midnight. Only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Comcast Sportsnet's action-packed weekend begins Friday at 3 as the White Sox hit the desert for a matchup against the Giants. Saturday at 1:30, the Blackhawks head to the country music capital to take on the Predators. At 7, the Rush return to Rosemont with a showdown against the Colorado Crush. Sunday at 1:30, it's an Easter Day battle for two Midwest foes as the Blackhawks host the St. Louis Blues at the UC. It's an action-packed weekend only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Bob Vaughn serving a holding penalty at 10:21 of this first period. Puck comes back to Pat Stapleton. Stapleton takes a look, and he was checked by Dennis Duperry, who shot the puck down the ice. Duperry is out there with Pellick, Dory, and Sowood. Bobby Hull then to Pitt Martin. Martin up at center over the red line. He just shot it in. Dennis Duperry deflected it near his own net. Then he shoots it off the boards. It was knocked out. Stapleton waits, clears it over to under the claw, but Pitt Martin couldn't get out in time. Neither could Chico Mackey. Nine minutes and 12 seconds. We could get a town scoreboard. Montreal all tied up there. 1-1 with Minnesota. Vancouver over Boston 1-0. And it's Detroit leading Philadelphia 3-1. All in the first period. Bobby Hull to Pat Stapleton to Pitt Martin. Martin over the red line to the Leaf blue line. Shot it in under the claw. Went after it. This Duperry's there first. Left it there. The claw centered it. It's directed near point. It was knocked down with a glove. And play is called.
Andy, the claw broke in there pretty well on Duperry, and a deflection there. And there's the claw. There's the stop by Plot. And here again, he did the same thing as Esposito did at the other end. He lost sight of it for a moment, but the whistle had blown just before the play here. But he still dragged that foot. But, you know, that's that trouble, those masks. The goalkeeper's losing sight of it.
Jim Dory shoots the puck down the ice. There's a minute and 8 seconds left in the penalty to Braun. Stapleton leaving it for Bobby Hull. There he goes. Pitt Martin on his left. Mackey on the right. To the Leafs defense. Try to go around Dory. Goes into the boards with Pellick. Pitt Martin nearly bumped into Lacroix. Martin still has it. He's checked by Dennis Duperry. And Mike Pellick to Dennis Duperry. And Duperry makes sure of it by getting it out and down the ice. Stapleton turns around again, though. Over to Mackey.
Mackey coming to the Leaf blue line and over. He falls, and the puck was cleared by Selwood down the ice. Leafs getting a change of their defense core now as Lee and McKinney are out there together. Keon and Monahan. Stan Mikita out for the Hawks. A long pass under the claw, wider than net. Mikita centering it on off the boards. Stapleton lets one go. McKinney knocked that down. It goes to Stapleton again. Lacroix trying to center it. He shot it between Stapleton and Bobby Hull down the ice. Vaughn is on. Bobby Hull at his own blue line. Shot it off the glass. Monahan covers Stan Mikita. Rick Lee for Monahan off his skate. Then Coral tried to get loose. Rick Lee has possession. A pass for Trottier over the line to Harrison, and he shot it way wide. Doug Jarrett to Dennis Hull. Trottier covered him. The puck slid to center ice. Jim McKinney shoots it right back into the corner. Came out in front along the boards to Magnuson, to Coral to Mikita. Mikita centered up over the line. Here's the shot. It hit Vaughn. The rebound is taken by Darryl Sittler. And, of course, as it was deflected back into the Leaf zone, Coral hitting it with his stick on the way out causes an offside.
Hey, Chicagoland, looking for a career change? International Profit Associates is the nation's leader in management consulting for small and medium-sized companies. IPA had another winning year and is now hiring appointment setters and inside sales representatives. IPA employees are building careers. The 600 employees at the Northwest Suburban office love working at IPA because of unlimited income potential. Create your own promotion. Call IPA at 800-531-2542, weekdays between 7 and 5. Tell them you're looking for a change.
Bob Vaughn falls along the boards, shot it out and down the ice to recover, and it's Magnuson back for it with 6:43 remaining in this first period of close hockey. Here's a chance for Dennis Hull breaking over the line, but again, Cole nullified that rush by stepping over the blue line. You'd almost think they were in a playoff here.
They're playing an awful lot of hockey in center ice.
Jimmy Harrison with Darryl Sittler. A long shot by Harrison. Missed the target. The rebound for Trottier. Couldn't get to it. Sittler in the corner. Trying to get it back to Trottier. And they hold it against the boards, and there's no further play. No score between the Blackhawks and the Toronto Maple Leafs in this first period. We've got 3 penalties, 2 to the Leafs, and 1 to the Blackhawks. Dennis Hull in possession to Keith Magnuson, back of the net. Over to Jarrett. Jarrett's return for Mikita, broke it up by Jimmy Harrison. Harrison coming up to the hot line, shot it in, was given a bump by Cole. Jarrett, a long pass to center, went between Vaughn and Lee, and out of the net comes Jacques Clark. It goes to the corner. Cole and Mikita. Mikita centering it. Dennis Hull has possession. Took a long shot. Bob Vaughn in the corner. Trying to get by Mikita. It's centered right after Harrison. He gives it to Sittler. Over to Trottier. Back to Sittler to Harrison. Harrison stopped. Took a shot and he missed the net. Here's Trottier coming from the side. Darryl Sittler, a backhand right on. And it's picked up by Tony Esposito.
Expert control. Authentic capability. The odds your route is decided by whichever way the wind blows. 8 to 1. The new Land Rover LR2 HSE. Created for the one. Extraordinarily equipped at 36,150. Visit your local Land Rover center.
5 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the first period as Jim McKinney's shot. That seemed to hit O'Shea. Here's Ullman in front of the net, trying to get it over to Ellis, and it's shot by Pellick down the ice. McKinney. Brian Campbell nearly got it loose. Now then Henderson nearly had Ellis loose, and Ellis shot the puck around on the glass. It's behind the net. Esposito to Bill White. It's broken up. Here's Ullman in the Henderson. Comes around on the board. Pellick covered his man. Then Henderson knocked it back to McKinney. Up for Ullman. And his shot for Ellis. Stapleton. It hit Ellis. Ullman tried to center it. Gets it out in front. Broken up by White. White for Campbell. Campbell is dumped by Ellis. Going to be a penalty here with a release for tripping. Henderson has the puck. Play is called Ellis.
This is a driver's alert. The state of Illinois has just passed costly, tougher penalties for driving uninsured, including stiff fines, suspended licenses, and large fees to get your license back. If you are currently driving without the minimum required coverage, call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO for a quote on low rates and low monthly payments. Play it safe and stay legal for less. Call now.
1-800-SAFE-AUTO. SAFE-AUTO.
Ron Ellis picks up his first penalty of the season and is for tripping at 15:42 with 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the first period. That's the fourth penalty of the game and the third to the Leafs. And there's no score in the hockey game. Jim Dory shot it down the ice. Esposito stopped it. That's Stapleton. Coming up to his own blue line, up at center. Pass over for Bobby Hull, cutting in the left wing. He couldn't get his shot away. Dennis Terry cleared it for Mike Pellick. Then Hull and Pellick bumped together. And it's cleared out to center ice. Stapleton for Andre Lacroix. Lacroix to the Leaf blue line. Dropped it back. Dory and Pellick get it out. Stapleton takes a look again to Martin. Martin over the line, and he's checked, and the puck is knocked back up the center. This is certainly not the regular power play for the Hawks at this time anyway. Dory wrapped it to the blue line, but not out. A long shot knocked down by Brad Selwood. Selwood a touring pass to Monahan. Esposito came way out of the net to check him. Pitt Martin up at center with Mackey. Over the line. Bobby Hull closing in. Pitt Martin for Andre Lacroix. Back of the net. Centered it. Right shot by Jock Plot. There's no right on. The puck is not over that red line.
Well, we get a chance to look at that again. And Jock Plot come across there as Lacroix dumped it out. Chico Mack is standing right on the crease, and I don't know how he kept that out, but he just came across there with that bottom leg of his. Brad Selwood coming in and getting Chico Mackey and dumping him over Jock Plot, but Plot certainly moved beautifully on that play. The Hawks argued a little bit that it was over the line, but the red light never did come on.
No score in this first period with 2 minutes and 54 seconds to go, and Ellis has 36 seconds left in his penalty. So Stan Mikita comes out on the power play, and as a rule, he's usually out there. I guess because of the game with Buffalo, they're giving him a rest tonight. Comes back to the blue line. Knocked off the boards again. And as Hull tried to center it, Bond broke that up, and Keon finds an opening and shoots the puck down the ice. Bobby Hull back for it. Dropping it to Dennis Hull. Dennis Hull at his own blue line, over center. Just shoots it in off the boards. Plant stopped it, slipped into the corner. Rickley cleared it, but not out. Here's Bobby Hull's shot, and that was a great save, and Keon's going down the right wing of Monahan. Monahan waits. Keon lets one go as Esposito stopped that. Dennis Hull in his own zone as the Leafs are back at full strike. Monahan skates Koroloff. Lee had it knocked by his skates. Monahan back for it. Barry Monahan. Over the blue line to center. Nikita has him covered. Nikita knocks him down.
But he hooks the puck into the Hawk zone. Keon after it. Keon, a back pass, goes behind the net. Stan Mikita comes up with it. McMillan had a piece of him. Cole comes to center for Dennis Ho. Bob Bond stopped that. Here's Cole closing right in. And John Clark stopped that one. Bond to Keon with Sittler. The pass for Sittler was too far. Magnuson off the boards, hands it to Keon. Sittler tried to get it back to him. He did. Keon centered it out in front, and Nesterenko intercepts. Nesterenko shoots it out to center ice. McMillan then intercepted a pass intended for Lou Angotti. Angotti's got it now for Chicago.
Last minute of play in this period.
He was given a heavy jolt by Bond. Sittler couldn't get to it. Then Harrison does and shoots it into the Chicago zone. Esposito carrying around on the boards. Daryl Sittler stopped it and fanned on his first try. Lets another one go that Magnuson blocked, and Nesterenko feeds Angotti. Angotti over center. Flips the puck into the Hawk zone. Danny O'Shea with Plot way out of his net. He's over. And he held it for a faceoff. Jacques Plot doing a lot of skating in this first period. 32 seconds left. And there's no score. There's the time remaining on the sports timer here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Anderson, Ullman, and Ellis come out with McKinney and Pellick. Angotti, Nesterenko, Danny O'Shea, Jarrett, and Magnuson. Angotti flipping it. Jimmy McKinney goes back of the net. Now he pulls away. Here he comes to his own blue line up at center. Over the red line, over the blue line, trying to cut in, centered it for Ullman, and Angotti was right there to cover. Angotti then checked by Ullman, trying to kick it loose. Henderson trying to dig it out. It goes to Ullman. Ullman back to Pellick. His shot hit Nesterenko. It goes sliding down the ice. 1 second left. Claude leaves it there for Pellick, and there goes the bell to end the first period. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada.
Game on. The home series has playoff implications, and only Comcast Sportsnet brings you all the action on the ice in crystal clear high definition. Tonight, if you can't be at the United Center, then tune into Comcast Sportsnet for a special home game telecast as Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, and the Blackhawks take on the Carolina Hurricanes at the United Center. It all starts tonight at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live with Steve Conroy. Only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Wednesday on Chicago Tribune Live, we'll hear from Duke Blue Devil legend and former NBA standout Christian Laettner on his NCAA bracket predictions. Plus, we'll bring you the latest news from Arizona as the Sox take on the Rockies. That and more Wednesday at 5:30.
Tomorrow, the Bulls are ready to shake up the Windy City in a highly anticipated showdown against Tim Duncan and the 2007 NBA champion Spurs in high definition. Bulls Spurs in HD tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Blackhawk legends continue. We'll talk to Stan Mikita next intermission, but first things first, we'll talk with the Golden Jet, Mr. Bobby Hull. And Bobby, you were the first Blackhawk to score 50 goals in a season. Did you think you could ever do that? Was that a goal of yours prior?
Never had the thoughts about scoring 50 goals until my third year. I was over in Europe after the second year and played an exhibition junket with the New York Rangers and the Boston Bruins, and some of the New York players couldn't go, so they invited Eddie Litzenberger, Pierre Pilote, Eric Nesterenko, and yours truly to go from the Blackhawks, and we had a wonderful time. We had 23 games in a month and just enjoyed Europe, all over Europe, and playing in those big buildings. And I played with, still playing center ice. I still hadn't realized that I was too dumb to be a centerman. And I played center with Eddie Shack on the left side and Eddie Litzenberger on the right side. And of course, I found out very early that I had to tell Eddie Shack every shift, stay wide, go around the outside, and if you can't cut in on the goal, I'm going to be drifting in the slot area. I said, just lay it out there and I'll see what I can do with it. Well, that's what we did all through that 23-game junket, and I scored 50 goals over there in 23 games. And I came back home to Canada, and I told my father at that time, who was my biggest critic, I said, Dad, I'm going to win the scoring this year. He says, yeah, you and with how many helpers? I said, well, hopefully the whole team. And that year, I didn't score 50 goals, but I won the scoring championship and beat Andy Bathgate out for the, or I should say Bronco Horvath out for the scoring. And it wasn't till a few years later that I realized that I would have a chance to score 50, because in the year that I got 39 and won the scoring, I went 9 games one time and 6 another without scoring. So I said 9 and 6, 15. If I score in half of those, I've got 50 done. So that's how I correlated scoring 50 goals.
You've been away from the Chicago Blackhawks organization for a few years, now officially back as an ambassador for this great franchise. How proud does that make you feel?
Well, I made a boyhood dream come true in 1957 to play in the National Hockey League. Little did I know the next 15 years was going to be played in the most beautiful city in the world, the greatest city in the world, with the greatest fans. And it's a second chance, and here we go, and we're going to enjoy it. We're going to make the best of it, and I really look forward to the team being in the same, thought of in the same breath as during our 60s with our hockey clubs in the 60s and 70s.
It's great to have the Golden Jet and Mr. Mikita back. Let's head to second period action from Toronto.
No score between the Hawks and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Referee Art School calls the two teams to center ice to start the second period. The two linesmen, Ron Hogarth and Leon Stickle, and Stan Mikita will start at center ice with Cliff Coral, number 20, on the right side. Dennis Hull on the left, Keith Magnuson and Doug Jarrett, Keon McMillan, Monahan, along with Rick Lee and Bob Bond. And we're all set to go now. Keon gets the draw, back to Bond, over to Lee. Lee moves to the blue line to Bond at center. Long shot, right on. Esposito stopped that, flipped into the corner. McMillan tried to center it. Dennis Hull along the boards. Monahan traps the Hawk player Coral, but Coral comes up with it. Coral back for Magnuson. Magnuson around on the boards for Jarrett. Jarrett to Mikita. Mikita going down at center. Over the blue line. Dropped it back to Coral. He didn't expect it. He is grabbed by Magnuson. Shot out to center ice. Magnuson, then a pass for Mikita, then for Coral. Dennis Hull going in alone. Takes the shot. Oh, let it go. And a great save by Clark. Coral went to the boards. Dennis Hull gets in it. Kicks it loose into the corner. And it's McMillan coming out of his own zone to his own blue line, up at center. Over the Hawk line. On his pass, Esposito shot it into the corner. McMillan again given a bump by Jarrett. And they hold it for a face-off. Dennis Hull was in alone.
Well, you sure do have a lot of phones.
I know, we do. We have all the latest models.
Yeah, all of them. You know what I feel like? I feel like I wish fate would point me in the right direction.
Wow, that was...
I just need a sign.
Smartphones, music phones, camera phones, and more. All the coolest models are here. It's why U.S. Cellular is wireless where you matter most.
Facing off in the Hawk zone to the left. Leafs playing every man up. No score as Ellis gets in front with a backhand. And Tony Esposito caught that one with his right hand. White and Stapleton, Bobby Hull, Pitt Martin. and Mackey. Dory and Selwood on the Leaf defense. Pat Stapleton in possession. A pass. Deflects to Pittmartin. Pittmartin up at center over the red line. Up to the Leaf blue line and over. And he just shot it into the corner, and Dory goes back for it. Plant tipped it by him. It's centered out front, comes all the way to the blue line and out. Pat Stapleton is shoved off the puck by Ellis. Normie Ullman coming up to the Hawk line. Clears it into the corner. Races after with White. Takes the puck off White, but Pat Stapleton's there. Stapleton passed. Brad Selwood pulled it out and shot it in again. And, of course, that's offside. 18-13 to go in the second period. There's no score between the Hawks and the Leafs.
There's Bobby Hull's big milestone. Second highest scorer all time in the NHL. Ranking behind Gordie Howe.
That's Stapleton. Up at center. A pass for Hull, broken up by Ellis. Stapleton shoots the puck into the Leaf zone. Brad Selwood back of the goal. Selwood off the boards, went by and got a piece of the stick of Pat Stapleton, so Bill White will pick it up, and there's no icing on the call. Pat Stapleton, pass for Bobby Hull. It's picked off by Mackey. Mackey at center, a long shot. Let that go over top of the net. The rebound to Ellis. Ron Ellis for Paul Henderson, broken up by Bill White. He shot it in front of the net. Brad Selwood after it. Selwood comes out with a pass to Henderson. Henderson back for Dory. Jim Dory starting down the ice over his own blue line. At center, a pass for Ullman over the line to Henderson. Henderson's going to made the save. Ullman trying to set it up again, only to have Pittmartin get it ahead to Mackey. Got it in over the blue line. Selwood shoved to the boards. Martin gets it loose. It's back of the goal. Mackey tried to set up Bobby Hull. Pittmartin. Brad Selwood gets his skate on it. Then up for Ellis. To Ullman. Ullman and Henderson together. Henderson couldn't keep it in. Jim Dory to Brad Selwood. Off the boards for Ellis. Into Ullman, going in with Henderson again. Ullman tried to center it. He did, and it went by Dory, and it picked off by Chico Mackey for Bobby Hull. Hull was given a shove off the puck. Ellis then to Ullman. Ullman couldn't get around Pat Stapleton, and Stapleton brings it back. Henderson intercepted that one, and he couldn't get loose. Stapleton to Bobby Hull. Back to Stapleton with Brian Campbell. Campbell had it half off the stick. Ellis gets it out to center. Harrison out there. White's pass was intercepted by Selwood. Up it goes to Sittler. Sittler up to Crutchy over the line. Back for Crutchy. Crutchy getting set. Got his shot. Crutchy, long shot. Take a look at that again as we see Darryl Sittler. Said he got Crutchy here, but watch Harrison in that goal mouth, because I'm pretty sure he knocked Esposito down as he steered in there. There's the collision right there. And there's no way that Esposito can get by Harrison to get back at that puck, and he was in there pretty deep, and I don't know whether he made contact with Tony or not. But a good shot by Darryl, or a good setup play there by Darryl Sittler.
Toronto goal scored by number 11, Trottier. Assist number 27, Sittler, and number 3, Selwood. The time, 4:20.
4:20 is the time of the goal. Trottier gets it out to center ice again. Jarrett waits. His shot hit Harrison. Harrison's going to break away. He's going in alone. Right in on goal. He saves. Tony Esposito made a dazzling save on that one. And Mike Pellet knocked his man down. Sittler is shot right on. Esposito stopped that. Then Trottier centered it. There's going to be a penalty here now, and Harrison gets it Magnuson.
believe this is a continuance of that feud of the last Chicago-Toronto game in Chicago. With this last shift, we've certainly seen more body contact than we have the previous first period.
This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Every morning, catch up on everything happening in Chicago sports with McDonald's Sports Rise, only on Comcast Sportsnet. It's the perfect way to start your sports day. McDonald's Sports Rise, every morning only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Tonight, the Red Storm is back in town as Patrick Kane of the Blackhawks take on the Capitals in high definition. Coverage starts at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live. Blackhawks Capitals, tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
2 minutes for roughing. Toronto penalty to number 7, Harrison. 2 minutes for slashing and 2 minutes for roughing. Time 4:55.
Double minor to Harrison and a single.
We get a chance to take a look at Jimmy Harrison as he broke away and stopped that shot by Jarrett, and he went in and made the move on Esposito. Watch Esposito with that lateral movement of his. He moved beautifully to his right. Harrison making the fake here on his backhand, and he lost control of the puck as he went to take it on his backhand and throw it up. But that Esposito certainly moved across there well. I believe he might have had him cut off even had he got the puck on the end of his stick. And just shortly after that, Harrison and Magnuson became embroiled in their little scuffle. And
well, it wasn't a major attraction because they only got 2-minute minors for roughing, although there was an additional penalty for slashing. There's the score. Toronto 1, Chicago nothing. But they'll play on even terms until Magnuson returns. Harrison will serve an additional 2 minutes. 15:05 remaining in the second period as Doug Jarrett has possession for the Hawks. Jerry Korab, number 22, out for the first time in the game, playing on the defense. Martin leaving it for Mackey, over to Jarrett. Jarrett, a pass over to Korab. Korab just skates around, back to Jarrett. Up at center ice. Hit Martin. Coming to the Leaf line, he's checked. Jarrett finally shoots it into the Leaf zone. Ron traps it there for Rick Lee. Lee was checked by Mackey. Rick Lee dropping it to Monahan. Monahan for Lee to Keon. Keon up at center. Over the line. Stops. It's over to Monahan. Back to Bond. Here's his shot. Right on. Good save by Esposito. Korab. Back to Bond. Bond hit Chico Mackey. Mackey to... Back to Mackey up over the blue line. Here's his shot. Blunt knocked that down. Bob Bond. Checked by Pitt Martin. It goes to Mackey. Trying to set up Jarrett in front. And he and Bond collided, but the puck slides out to center. 28 seconds left in Magnuson's penalty. Rick Lee. With Monahan. Pass for Monahan. Went by him. Esposito shot it off the glass. Nesterenko can't get it out. Lee is finally checked by Nesterenko. Comes out. Monahan skates him off, and Keon gets possession. Keon to Bond. Back for Lee. Now Magnuson's on the ice, and the Leafs are short-handed. Rick Lee takes a shot down the ice. Dennis Duperi comes over the board, so does Dory, Pellick, and Selwood. The Hawks with an advantage, led by Pat Stapleton, Stan Mikita, and Bobby Hull. Hull had the pass behind him. It goes to the glass. Played back here to Pat Stapleton. He's getting set to Bobby Hull. Into the corner for Angotti. Angotti couldn't control it. Pellick and Cole bump together. The puck goes to Angotti, around for Makita. He let it go. There's nobody there. And Dennis Duperi and Pat Stapleton. Dennis Duperi comes up with a puck. Tried to set up Dory. Comes out to Brad Selwood. Selwood just shoots it down the ice.
Staple in his dump, and here comes Bobby Hull. He gets it to Angotti. Angotti up at center to Makita. Makita over the line, way outside. Angotti and Coral. And Pellick stepped into Coral. 11:55 remaining in the second period. 50 seconds left in the penalty to Jimmy Harris. Hey, look at Billy Ray behind that bench, Bill, and the fellow that's had great success with that Chicago team, and the oldest coach from a point of longevity with the Chicago Blackhawks in the league. Trache has scored the only goal of the game from Sittler and Selwood at 4:20 of the second period. It's 1-0 Toronto. Duperre to Dory, up for Pellick. Too hard for Duperre. Shot off the boards, then to Dennis Hull to Stan Makita. Makita gets over the blue line. Had the puck at the line. Shot it into Dennis Hull. Dennis Hull to Bobby Hull, and he couldn't get a shot away. Trying to center right in front, and Josh Cross got that and holds on to it. Number 21, Stan Makita, who was Dave's intermission guest, and you never know he was playing with a chronic back ailment, would you? No, certainly wouldn't. Hawks playing every man up. 30 seconds left in Harrison's penalty. Here's Bobby Hill, takes the shot. Over to Maggs. Maggs takes his drive. Can't stop that. He's got it again and holds on to it. Stan Makita. Quite a lesson for youngsters just to watch him get that face-off. Well, he's deadly on the face-off. Either offensively. 11:28 remaining in the second period. There you see the number of seconds remaining in the penalty to Harrison, 23. And the Leafs have Keon, Bond, Lee, and Monahan. As Bobby Hull's shot was wide of the net. Dennis Hull took a whack at it with Bond. Then it's cleared back of the goal for Monahan. Monahan is passed over the boards by Maggs. Down went Monahan. Keon wrapped it the rest of the way down the ice. And Monahan going off for a rest after that bang into the boards. Henderson comes over the boards, and now that Harrison is out there, long pass to Dennis Hull. Dennis Hull goes after it, and he is back together. The puck comes loose. Makita knocked off the puck by Lee. Jimmy Harrison. Up for Keon, back for Harrison too far. Maggs is checked by Harrison. Harrison trying to get by Bobby Hull and center it. And Maggs shoots it around on the board. Dennis Hull then for Stan Makita. Back to Bobby Hull. Over the line, broken up. Then Bobby Hull got it again with a shot, and that's off for the deflection wide. It comes out past Henderson, and Keon got a break down the ice. With Ellison Henderson to Henderson. Henderson shoots. And it's shot wide. Back for Stan Makita at center. To the Leaf line and over. Took a shot, and it was weak and wide. Lee trying to cover up back in the net. He does. Play is called, and we have 10:02 remaining in the second period as the teams were just starting to open up a little bit. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Hey, Chicagoland, looking for a career change? International Profit Associates is the nation's leader in management consulting for small and medium-sized companies. IPA had another winning year and is now hiring appointment setters and inside sales representatives. IPA employees are building careers. The 600 employees at the Northwest Suburban office love working at IPA because of unlimited income potential. Create your own promotion. Call IPA at 800-531-2542, weekdays between 7 and 5. Tell them you're looking for a change.
Henderson, she saw, skated into the circle, and so the face-off would take place again. This time Ullman gets the draw. Pellick goes to the boards and decides to hold it. Do it all over. Trache from Sittler and Selwood, 4:20 of the second period. 1-0 Toronto. 9:59 remaining in the second period. Mike Pellick for Paul Henderson. Ullman races after it. Then Henderson picked up a loose puck. Over the line for Ullman and Ellis. Then Mike Pellick takes his shot, and he just missed the target. McKinney lets one go. Ullman took a whack at it. Here's Henderson right in front. And at center, stopped by Pellick again, and Pellick shoots it off the glass into the Hawk zone. Keith Magnuson, then for Doug Jarrett. Just shot it down the ice. Jim McKinney back for it. Over for Mike Pellick. Pellick is stopped by Campbell. Campbell for O'Shea, broken up by Ullman. Ellis, offside. Nine minutes and 10 seconds to go in the second period. Now we have a complete change of players. As Angotti comes out on the forward line, they're going to use Korab on the left wing with Nestorenko on the right side. That's quite a big line.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a new question because Jerry Korab normally a defenseman, and this is the first time we've seen him up on a forward line.
It goes by Bill White into the hot zone. Harrison beats him to the puck. Crutchy comes out, trying to get his shot. Darryl Sittler trying to keep it in, and White finally gets it out to center. Dory's pass back for Selwood, and he just shot it down the ice, and White goes back for it. Bill White coming out of his own zone with a pass for Angotti. Stopped by Dory. Dory's pass. Crutchy follows up. He gets over the line. Crutchy trying to get in front. That is fouled. It's just off the target. Harrison. Sittler tried to combine. Nestorenko's pass for Korab. Korab has the puck in the lead zone. Shots on the point. His shot hits Selwood. And it's Sittler now pulling away. Pass for Harrison. Harrison looking in. There's his shot. Great save by Tony Esposito. Back up for Stapleton over the line. A drop pass to Angotti. A shot. Oh, way in front, but couldn't get a shot away. Bill White is right. He's there. Bill White, right along the ice.
Now we see justice here for Angotti dumping that puck, and this little drop pass here from Stable, and Nestorenko on the way by, just tipping it past the open net, but he picked up his rebound in the corner and dumped out a perfect pass to Bill White, and all the time in the world as he fired that one along the ice. Jock Font, partially screened by Dory, didn't have a
Chicago goal scored by number 2, White. Assist number 15, Nestorenko, and number 6, Angotti. The time 12:04.
Nestorenko and Angotti assisting on a perfect shot by Bill White, his second of the year, icing call against Chicago. 7 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the second period.
Expert control. Authentic capability. The odds your route is decided by whichever way the wind blows. 8-1. The new Land Rover LR2 HSE. Created for the one. Extraordinarily equipped at 36,150. Visit your local Land Rover center.
Jarrett shot the puck to center ice. The Leafs shoot it right back with Lee to Monahan. He poked it into the corner, goes after it with Magnuson. Magnuson comes up with it, getting it up to the blue line. Pitt Martin at center couldn't get anywhere. Monahan then covers his check. Martin and Lee bump together. Bob Braun for Lee, then to Keon. Keon with Monahan. Monahan back to Keon, back to Monahan. Monahan stops to McMillan. It comes to Lee. There's his shot. That missed the target. Braun lets one go, and that's stopped by Jarrett. Jarrett headmans the puck to Pitt Martin at center. He's checked by Lee. Monahan for Keon. And Magnuson broke that up to Pitt Martin. Pitt Martin centering it right in front. People not be a shot. It's right in front of the goal, and Jacques Braun covers up.
Well, the game certainly opened up to the comparison to the first period.
Where's the best place to get caught up on everything happening at spring training? Comcast Sportsnet. Only one network brings you the most in-depth coverage of the Cubs and Sox each day from the desert. Not only will you see 16 Cactus League matchups, Chicago Tribune Live and Sports Night devote more time to everything happening with the Cubs and Sox as they prepare for the regular season. Your home for complete spring training coverage is Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Last week, if you just got the scores, you didn't get the whole picture.
I just had to do a better job of dealing with my frustrations instead of acting the way I did. Now I just want to get this over with and let this team focus on making the playoffs.
Jerry, Carlos, and I are on the same page. If we play well, we'll find somewhere for us. We're all too talented just to sit.
How can you be anything but unbelievably proud of this team? A group of incredible fighters, overachievers. That's the story of this team.
Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Tony Esposito has gone over to the hot bench, get a new stick. There he is. Made a great save on Jimmy Harrison. You know, how often have you seen it? They make a great save at one end, come right back to the other end and score, and we had a beautiful case of it that period. So we have 6:37 left as McKinney has possession of the puck in his own zone. McKinney long pass to Henderson by him. Bill White. For Stapleton to Dennis Ho, back to Stapleton, over to White again. At center ice, Ullman. Checked by Stan Mikita, who goes up over the blue line. Mikita takes a look, a pass. Hank shot it wide, trying to center it. Henderson comes up with it to McKinney. McKinney straight down the ice to the hot blue line. Still has it to Henderson. Pollock, Andy Roman, trying to center it. Back of the goal for Stapleton. He shot it around. Ellis blocked it. A shot in front, knocked by Stapleton. Gets it to Mikita. Mikita to Dennis Ho over the line. Centered it right in front of Mikita. Shot, another shot. And a good save by Plonk. Now it's a chance to the lead. Henderson. Alice offside. Went in advance of the puck carrier, and that nullified a dangerous rush just after a close call for defense. Stan Mikita at a difficult angle at that other end, but Plont coming out, cutting off the angle. On the out-of-town scoreboard, Montreal and Minnesota are tied 1-1. Boston over Vancouver 2-1, and Philadelphia's come back to tie Detroit 3-3 in the second period. Buffalo leading Pittsburgh, of course, 2-1. Doc Front nearly gave the puck away at the side of the net. McKinney covers up. Ahead for Ullman. Ullman is chased out of the play by Jarrett. Brian Campbell turns number 14. He shot one off the leg. Down went Coral, and it's Mike Pellick and Ullman again with Ellis. Ellis missed the pass, but it was off Danny O'Shea's leg. Ellis trying to center it for Henderson. Brian Campbell gets it up for Coral. Coral stopped by Dory. Dory gets it out. Magnuson brings it back in again. A pass intercepted by Henderson. Then Henderson lost it. Brad Selwood over the blue line, coming up at center. His long shot. Esposito deflects that off the glass. Sittler leaves it for Trottier. Back to Sittler, trying to set up Ullman. Trottier, back to Sittler. A shot! Saved by Esposito. Danny O'Shea back of the net. Stopped by Ullman. Ullman trying to center it. Heath Magnuson then to Campbell. Stopped by Brad Selwood for Trottier. Trottier shot it over the line. Jarrett stopped it and gave it to Magnuson. Harrison after Magnuson. Harrison can get in on the board. There's going to be a penalty to Harrison. Up the ice to Campbell. Campbell up over the leaf line offside. Play is called. Harrison of the Leafs will get the gate.
Today, Ozzie Guillen leads the White Sox back into Cactus League action as the team takes on Matt Holliday and the Colorado Rockies live from the desert. White Sox Rockies in widescreen format today at 3 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Harrison for charging at 16-15. I don't think there's any doubt in that one.
I'll tell you, Coach Johnny McFarland, the Leafs, was a little perturbed over that, and you know, he doesn't usually get too excited, but he was right over the bench yelling at referee Art Skov on that call.
We have 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the second period. The score is tied 1-1. The Hawks with a man advantage. There's been 4 penalties in the second period, 3 to the Leafs and 1 to the Hawks. In the first period, there were 4 penalties, 3 to the Leafs and 1 to the Hawks. There's the time remaining, 3:40. A 1-1 tie as Duperry gets the draw to Dory. Dory to Duperry, up to Mike Pellick. Back it comes to Brad Selwood. Selwood a long shot. Esposito drove back. But a shot by Brad Selwood from his own blue line. It was still rising when it went over the net. Back up for Pat Stapleton. A pass for Bobby Hull, and he's checked by Dennis Duperry. Andre Lacroix. 18 overskates the puck. Dropped it back to Pat Stapleton. He shot it in. John Clark came out of the net, flipped it off to the side. Pellick shot it off the boards down the ice. Esposito back of the net as Dennis Duperry lost a glove. Gets another one on the way back. Over the line for Pitt Martin, and Duperry falling gets the puck down the ice, and glove is actually in the net behind Esposito. Andre Lacroix to Bobby Hull at his own blue line. The Hawks with the man advantage. Up over the blue line, Bobby Hull is covered. It's knocked out by Keon. Mackey back to Stapleton. Stapleton ahead for Bobby Hull. It hit Lee. Played back, but it's offside at the Maple Leaf blue line with 2:18 left and 33 seconds remain in the penalty to Jimmy Harrison. So 1-1 tie.
Number 18, Andre Lacroix, who just picked up recently in a trade with Philadelphia, and I think Billy Ray was looking for some additional strength at center ice, but tonight he's been playing left wing.
Well, of course, as you mentioned right at the beginning of the game, Jimmy Pappin's out. Clock was checked. Maggs trying to center it. Bond shot it around on the boards. Bobby Hull clears it back into the corner. It goes to Makita. Makita to Maggs. Bang, still in possession. Back to Dennis Hull. Look out, there's a hard shot. And a great save by Jack Clark with his left hand. A rising slap shot by Dennis Hull. Score remains 1-1. 11 seconds left in the penalty to Harrison. He's standing up at the penalty box. Keon, Monahan, Lee, and Bond. Makita, Dennis Hull, Maggs, White, and Stapleton. Dennis Hull, another shot. This time it's wide. Bill White lets one go, a weak one. Bond then up to Keon. Keon goes down the ice with Monahan. Over the line to Monahan. Monahan shoots. And Esposito stopped that. Jimmy Harrison intercepted a pass at the blue line, was dumped. Stapleton gets up slowly. Keon back to Lee. Lee at center. He shoots the puck in. It goes back of the net. Esposito stopped it there. Keon nearly intercepted that pass. Comes out to Stan Makita. Makita to White. Way over center to the Leaf line. And kept into him. And down he went. A pass for Henderson at center. With McMillan over the line. Henderson trying to get around Stapleton. He couldn't. Last minute of play in this period. Henderson for Keon outside at the Chicago blue line. But some couple of real hefty checks thrown out on the ice that time. Bond measuring Bill White with a hefty check, but you notice how quickly he bounced up. A 1-1 tie with 58 seconds remaining. Second period. Trottier and White have been the goal scorers. There was no scoring in the first period. Esterecko will face off with Ullman. To Ellis. Ellis shoots the puck into the Chicago zone. Magnuson and Jarrett go back for it. Magnuson in possession. Shot it off the glass, out to center ice. Jim McKinney shooting it back again, only in doing so he shot it into the Leaf bench. Alman against Angotti. To Ellis, back to Pellick. Over to McKinney. McKinney. A long shot. Esposito stopped that. Henderson went after the loose puck. Ullman keeps it in. Trying to set up Henderson. Angotti checked by Ullman. Ullman in front for Ellis. And then he shoots. Esposito made the save on his backhand. There's Domi Ullman stealing the puck. Ellis is out in front. He's trying to control it. He finally gets it. There's the backhand. Esposito didn't make a move. And he smothers the puck, and there's no rebound. A great play by Ullman and Esposito outguessing Ronnie Ellis. So the score remains 1-1 with 19 seconds left in the second period. Mackey, Makita, and Bobby Hull out there now with Stapleton and White. And Makita gets that draw. Ullman goes after it, though. Stapleton comes up with it. A pass to Makita. Makita in his own zone with 11 seconds. Makita's long shot. Long played there with a scoop for some reason. It's intercepted. Now he comes over the net. McKinney goes back to the goal. There goes the bell. And the second period is over. It's a 1-1 tie for Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Tomorrow United.
Hey, Chicagoland, looking for a career change? International Profit Associates is the nation's leader in management consulting for small and medium-sized companies. IPA had another winning year and is now hiring appointment setters and inside sales representatives. IPA employees are building careers. The 600 employees at the Northwest Suburban office love working at IPA because of unlimited income potential. Create your own promotion. Call IPA at 800-531-2542, weekdays between 7 and 5. Tell them you're looking for a change.
Blackhawk Legends continues with the Hall of Famer Stan Mikita. And Stan, 22 seasons in the National Hockey League, all with the Chicago Blackhawks. How special was it to play for one team?
Well, I had seen a few guys come and go, and I saw people like Bobby, who went to a better place as far as money was concerned, and rightfully so, because we weren't really making that much at the time. But I had heard some rumors that I was up for a trade a few times, and fortunately it was canceled somehow, and I remained in Chicago. And I married a girl from here. All our kids were born in Chicago area, and I have a little business now, which is still in Chicago. So I'm actually, I feel myself as a native Chicagoan rather than an import.
Your NHL career was born in Chicago. We hear the curved stick blade was also born with the Blackhawks. Where did it start?
Well, it actually started outside on the hockey rink, not outside, but in the rink surface itself. Somehow we were scrimmaging, and somebody pushed me into the boards, and my stick was out at hip level. And as I'm going by the bench and the doorway, I'm not sure if the doorway was ajar a little bit or just closing or what, my stick got caught in there somehow, and somebody pushed me from behind and leaned forward, and I could hear a crack, and I thought it was a rib or something, or a knee. And I look over, and now my stick is stuck inside the doorway. So I pull it out, and I noticed it was bent in an L shape. And of course, these things are laminated, layer on layer. So just the outside of the layers were cracked, and still in pretty good shape. But because the old stadium, the locker room was downstairs, 21 stairs. Bobby says 22 because we kept, he kept track of that stuff. But I was a little ticked off that I'd had to go down, get a new stick, and then come back up another 21 stairs. So I slapped the puck and into the boards out of anger, a little bit of anger. And I noticed there was a different click to it, different noise that it made. So I hit a couple more, and it was the same type of thing. I wristed a couple, and that was also different. I didn't try any backhand at that point. I didn't figure I needed it with all this stuff going on forward. So after showering, I started bending some sticks, and that's how this whole thing was born.
What were your teammates' reactions when you told them about this new found invention?
Well, they didn't see it for a while. During the next month of practice, I either stayed out late with nobody out there, or early enough where they weren't really looking at it. And the first time I shot the puck, it went higher than normally would, but it had a little more zip on it. Bobby finally caught me one day where I'm practicing, and he says, "What is that thing?" So he looked at it, and of course we're two different hands. I'm right-handed, he's left-handed. So after the practice, I had to go down and bend him a stick into a left-handed hook position. He went out and tried it that same day on street shoes. And from his own end zone, from the goal line, because that's where the door was, from there, shooting down the other end, he hit the press box area, which was about 50 feet up in the air. And from then, he was hooked.
And the rest?
Pardon the expression, he was hooked.
The rest is history. Lastly, Stan, an ambassador now of the Chicago Blackhawks, officially back with the organization. You never really went anywhere, but what's that mean to you to be officially recognized?
Well, it means that we can now talk hockey with the kids. Excuse me. Before, I didn't want to bother anybody. I didn't want to change any thought process they had. But now, if a kid wants to talk to me, young man, I should say, not a kid, I'll be available for that. Bobby will, Tony will. So whatever comes up, we're there for help if they need it.
It's great to have Stan Mikita and Bobby Hull back with the Chicago Blackhawks organization. The score's tied 1-1. Let's get back to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
And we're all set to go now. Maggs has moved out on the right side with Dennis Hull on the left. Keon at center, Monahan and McMillan on the wings. Lee and Bond on the defense. Magnuson and Jarrett for the Hawks. Play underway. Jarrett to Dennis Hull. Dennis Hull over center. Tried to go through. Monahan tipped it out again. Magnuson shoots it in. Bond knocked it down with his glove. A pass for Keon to Monahan. Back to Keon. Into the goal. Back out to Maggs. Over on the left wing for Dennis Hull. Over the blue line. Gets around Bond. There's a hard shot, and that went high. Picked up by Monahan. Monahan to McMillan. McMillan for Keon. Keon shoots right on. Esposito stopped that.
Well, you sure do have a lot of phones.
I know. We do. We have all the latest models.
Yeah, all of them. You know what I feel like? I feel like I wish fate would point me in the right direction.
Wow, that was...
I just need a sign.
Smartphones, music phones, camera phones, and more. All the coolest models are here. It's why U.S. Cellular is wireless where you matter most.
Esposito fixing a bit of his equipment. Now he's all ready to go. Referee talking to him. Leafs are going to make a change. Send out Ullman, Henderson, Ellis, Dory, and Selwood. We have a 1-1 tie going in this final period. We just started. Pick Martin now to face off against Ullman. It came right in front of the net. Pat Stapleton brings it out. He hit Ullman, goes to Dory. For Henderson to Ullman, back to Selwood. Over to Jim Dory. Dory coming at center, a pass to Ellis. Ellis for Ullman outside. It went outside the blue line on the second try by Ellis, and of course the linesman then called it. It was all right the first time, but when he tried to lay the pass over, he drew the puck right outside the blue line. Brad Selwood shoots the puck in back of a hot goal. Esposito left it there for Bill White. White starting out with a pass for Pitt Martin. Then to Bobby Howe. Bobby Howe up over center. To the Leaf line, around two for that. Now they held trying to center it. Jim Dory. It's checked by Chico Mackey. It's shot into the corner. Ron Ellis. Tapped by Bobby Hull. Hull and Chico Mackey a shot. Clock stopped that. The rebound. Dory off the board. And it's going into the crowd. And the Hawks came awfully close to breaking this 1-1 deadlock.
Look at that Leaf bench with Coach Johnny McClellan standing behind Bobby Bond, Ricky Lee. And that was a great save by Jock Pontage to come out on a tremendous angle, cut down that angle as Bobby Hall was going down the left board.
On the face-off, Coral is knocked down. Ellis couldn't come up with it. Now he does. To Selwood. Selwood coming over center, and he shoots it in. And the Leafs pour in after it. Ullman's the first man in for it, but Jarrett there to cover him. They knock it loose. Jarrett gets his skate on it finally. Players called. Danny O'Shea had a hold of Ullman. Facing off in the Hawks zone to the left. Score is tied 1-1. Skating into the circle was Brian Campbell, number 14, which means another face-off. O'Shea got the draw this time to Jarrett. Jarrett to Magnuson. Magnuson back for O'Shea. Broken up by Ellis to Dory. Jim Dory for Ullman. To Ellis. Ellis closes in. Goes back in the net. Gets it back to Dory. Dory let his shot go. Magnuson knocked it down. Shot it out. Brad Selwood off the board. Ullman couldn't get out in time. Going all the way back into the lead zone for an intentional offside at the blue line. Bob, Tony Esposito is still having trouble with those pads of his.
They haven't been doing too badly for him because he's played pretty good hockey so far tonight.
Seems to be having trouble with the bottom strap. Now the play is underway, and Pellick to McKinney. Around it goes to Trottier. Trottier gets the puck out to center ice. Campbell goes away from Harrison. Brian Campbell over the line. Getting in set for a shot, and Clark stopped that. Jim McKinney for Jim Harrison. Broken up. Jarrett lets the high shot go up into the end Blues. Face-off will be outside the blue line. 17-11. Remaining in this hockey game. There's the score, 1-1. Duane Gotti out there now with Nestorenko and Korab. Jim McKinney. To Harrison. Harrison couldn't get away, and Gotti just shoots it in, and the Hawks are content to forecheck the Leafs in their own zone and look for the break. Jimmy Harrison comes out. Goes away from Gotti to center, gets over the red line, shot it in. It's back of the net, Esposito. And he left it there, and Gotti gets a break with White. Gotti coming up at center to Korab. Korab trying to cut in on the left wing. McKinney intercepts. Up to Harrison, to Pellick. Pellick shot the puck over the line offside as Harrison went in advance of the shot by Mike Pellick. Looking at Denatown scoreboard, it's Minnesota and Montreal 2-2 after two periods. Boston leading Vancouver 4-1. In the third, Detroit has gone ahead of Philadelphia 4-3, and still a tie between Pittsburgh and Buffalo in the third period, 2-2. And it's 1-1 here as Darryl Sittler off the glass. Bill White covers up. Darryl Sittler after him. Stapleton took White's pass to Gotti. Gotti tried to break between McKinney and Pellick. Pellick grabbed a hold of him. Ends up in the corner, and Gotti trying to get it back, and Mike Pellick has it. Pellick with Sittler. Pellick a long shot. A nice save by Esposito. Picked off by Bill White. Up to Jerry Korab, and his shot went to Lee. Lee right back to Korab. And Jim McKinney. For Trache, he doesn't know where it is. They try to change on the go. White moves up the center. And he shoots it in the lead zone, and it's stopped by Plott. Rick Lee. To Darryl Sittler with Jimmy Harrison. Harrison going over the Hawk line. Back for Sittler in front of the net. Picked off by Stapleton, who shot it out. Vaughn off the boards. Billy McMillan out there. Monahan and Keon out. Akita pass. It's hopping for Dennis Hall. He took a whack at it. Dennis Hall fights for it. Trying to center it. Keon gets it up at center. Akita then picks it up. For Dennis Hall, broken up by Keon, but it was offside at the blue line. 14:44 remaining.
There's Brian Glennie, who is not dressed tonight, standing in the corridor just between the two benches, and well, he's right in that hockey game watching that clock.
Rick Lee over to Bob Bond. Bond into Lee. And to Keon, back to Lee. Coming up at center. A pass for Keon, and that was broken up. Keith Magnuson shooting it out on the left side of Dennis Hull. A long shot, gloved by Jack Plott to Gary Monahan. Around on the boards, but not out. Magnuson getting set for a shot and hit. Monahan races after it. Esposito comes over the net. Giving a shove. Monahan has the puck. Hold it. Quickly a shot. That's knocked down. It's kept in by Monahan. Right in front to Keon. He shoots. Oh, hit the post. Keon hit the post. As he had Esposito cold. And it went right back out. Now you don't come any closer than that. Now here that chance for the Hawks. And Dennis Hull nearly had one in the corner. Up to McMillan. McMillan at center. He's had the puck taken away from him. Magnuson. The play is called under the late whistle offside.
Game on. The home series has playoff implications, and only Comcast Sportsnet brings you all the action on the ice in crystal clear high definition. Tonight, if you can't be at the United Center, then tune into Comcast Sportsnet for a special home game telecast as Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, and the Blackhawks take on the Carolina Hurricanes at the United Center. It all starts tonight at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live with Steve Conroy, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Every night, only one show brings you closer to the teams that matter most. Sports Night on Comcast Sportsnet. Highlights of the games you care about. Breaking news that has Chicago talking. Interviews with the biggest names. And the time to tell in-depth stories. If you're a fan of Chicago sports, then this is your show. Sports Night, every night at 6:30, 10, and midnight, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Play by Davey Keon. A beautiful move by Billy McMillan as he fed it here, and Keon's shot had Tony Esposito beaten on the short side. Hit the post and came out behind him, and the Leafs unable to get somebody in front of that net, but a fine play by Bill McMillan, and we've got a little conference going on now as Chicago has drawn a penalty.
A bench penalty, goalie for too many men on the ice.
Well, it's not too often you'll see that happen. Just in case if somebody wasn't in the hockey game and jumped on a little too early, it's a bad time for any of the hockey, either of these teams to get a penalty.
Now we'll find out who they're going to send out there. Somebody has to come to the penalty box.
We know for sure this fellow won't be going to the penalty box because there's one reason Makita's out there, and that's for this face-off. But I believe the
guess as to who's going into the penalty box has to be the ones around the ice.
That's right. I believe that's the argument. Somebody off the ice, and I think they're in the midst of a player change, and this is what the beef is. And it looks like Pitt Martin as he comes across the ice.
Well, the Leafs have the odd man.
Chicago penalty will be served by number 7.
Here's a shot by Ellis. For Ullman a shot. Henderson took a whack at it. And Makita got hit in the face.
That one, Tony Esposito, right off the bat, was waiting for the trainer to come out. As he went down in a real hurry, that puck must have flipped right up off Tony Esposito's pad. We get a chance to look at it again on the replay. As here's Paul Henderson getting that puck. And there's the puck coming here. Right there. Oh, and it's deflected right straight up off Henderson's stick. Caught him flush. And I would imagine, while he's making his way to the bench now, maybe we'll be able to get a report on it as he's holding a bandage to the side of his face. But as soon as we get something on it, we'll pass it along. Let's hope it isn't serious enough to keep him out of this last period.
Oh, boy, that puck just came right up.
Straight up. You know, it looked like it was deflected, but it came directly off Paul Henderson's stick. I thought it was a rebound at college.
Bobby Hull is certainly having a lot to say to the linesman.
He wants that face-off outside the blue line because he claims Chicago had possession of the puck, but the call was made, and that's where it'll be in that.
Well, of course, it's going to work both ways, because if they let the play go, at least would have had him, the Hawks would have been to two-man disadvantage because of him being hurt. Back for Jim Dory. 1 minute and 44 seconds left in Martin's penalty. Bobby Hull went down as Dory comes back at center. He shot the puck around on the boards. Here's Henderson after it. Gets it back to Dory. Dory lets his shot go. Henderson a shot. Howard Ullman a backhand. He missed the corner. Jim Dory. A pass and Bobby Hull in his back. To Chico Mackey. Chico Mackey for Bobby Hull. And he gets there to get to it. Goes back into the hot zone. Esposito to Jarrett. Jarrett off the boards. Hit Henderson. Now then Ullman. Checked by Bobby Hull. Gets over the line. Clears it back to Jarrett. 53 seconds. And Chico Mackey shoots it back into his own zone. Henderson goes after Magnuson. Magnuson's there ahead of him. Cleared it to the blue line. Hull gets it out. And Dory passing it right to Mackey. Here's a chance for Angotti. And he's skated off by Dory again. It's back of the net for Angotti, and then Ullman gets it. Ullman coming out of his own zone to center. Goes over the line. Joe has it. Goes back of the goal. Angotti was checked by Henderson. Ullman gets it back to McKinney. McKinney took his shot. The flex wide and into the corner where Nesterenko shoots it down the ice. Back on the ice comes Pitt Martin. He fell. McKinney comes out. Leading the attack. Over the half line. Covered up through the fence. And Martin covered up. Comes out over the blue line. Rick Lee stops. Takes it over the line. And he's checked. Nesterenko coming down the right wing. Pass to Pitt Martin. Martin shot it right on and grabbed by Jacques Francois is called. 10:57 remaining in the hockey game. A 1-1 tie.
Oh, that's some great end-to-end rush as we see Pitt Martin come down with a hard slap shot. Bobby Bond trying to block it. Jock Font taking high on his chest and letting that rebound out and then falling on it real quickly as Pitt Martin was coming into the rebound.
Montreal and Minnesota tied 2-2. Boston over Vancouver 4-1, but Detroit doubled the score now on Philadelphia in the final period. That's the final score, 6-3. Buffalo and Pittsburgh are tied 2-2. And it's a 1-1 tie here. Harrison, Trottier, Lee, Sittler, and Vaughn. Martin with Dennis Hull and Mack are lining up. Sittler is going to take the face-off. It comes back to Stapleton to Dennis Hull. A shot, and Harrison fell in front of that. Jimmy Harrison around on the boards for Vaughn. Vaughn fails to get it out. Dennis Hull a long shot. Darryl Sittler trying to pull away on the left side, only to have Bill White take over for the Hawks. For Pitt Martin, Harrison was checked from behind by Mag. Maggs gets it over to Dennis Hull and to Pitt Martin. Goes into the center.
Set up beautifully by Dennis Hall as he took that long lead pass from Darryl Maggs, and seeing Pitt Martin come into the center, just dumped it back into that open spot. Bob Bond going down to try to block it, a 2-on-1 play, and Pitt Martin getting that hard shot away, beating Jock Fawn on his glove side. Fawn almost had a piece of that puck with his hand. But a nice play set up well by Dennis Hall.
Chicago goal scored by number 7, Martin. Assist number 10, Dennis Hull, and number 17, Maggs. The time, 9:34.
9:34, that's Pitt Martin's 10th of the year from Dennis Hull and Maggs. Ellie McMillan. To Pellick, then to McMillan. Over to Monahan, outside Keon.
Bill, the report from down below on Stan Mikita is that he is cut over and under his right eye, but is not serious, and we expect to be back.
Chicago 2, Toronto 1 with 10 minutes exactly remaining. Mike Pellick for Monahan. Failed to get away. Monahan trying again. Squirrel to Campbell. Stopped by Monahan. He hands it right back to Campbell. This time Campbell makes sure he gets it in the lead zone. Jim McKinney to Dave Keon. Back to McKinney. McKinney. Shot it off the boards for Keon, but that's offside.
Hockey Night in Canada returns next week with 2 fine games. On Wednesday, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Leafs. Well,
it's underneath Stapleton. Play is called. 8:35 remaining.
Game on. The home series has playoff implications, and only Comcast Sportsnet brings you all the action on the ice in crystal clear high definition. Tonight, if you can't be at the United Center, then tune into Comcast Sportsnet for a special home game telecast as Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, and the Blackhawks take on the Carolina Hurricanes at the United Center. It all starts tonight at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live with Steve Conroy, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Lou Angotti taking Stan Mikita's place now at center between Bobby Hull and Chico Mackey. Hellman, Henderson, Ellis. Up for Jarrett, getting it out to center. Stopped by Dory to Henderson, who shot the puck into the Chicago zone. You got him! Magnuson, then to Jarrett. Up for center, stopped by Dory again to Henderson. Henderson over the line now for Ellis. Henderson trying to get Hellman set. And it's Magnuson shooting it out to center ice. Dory. Pass up to Ullman again. For Henderson. Henderson stops. Henderson over to Selwood. Selwood hit the linesman. But Bobby Hull comes up with it.
Mackey in front. Dory hands it to Angotti. And his pass is deflected out to Henderson. For Ellis. Over the line. Ellis into the corner. Covered there. The puck goes to Ullman, and he handed it to Bobby. Trying to go around Selwood. Takes the shot. Won't stop that, and Dory's got it. Up to Ellis. 4 leads. Ellis shoots. A nice glove save by Esposito. Off the boards to Angotti. Out at center. Dory's got it. He shot it behind Trottier. Angotti gets rid of it. Bond comes up. His long shot. Partially blocked by Jarrett. Magnuson goes back. With 6 minutes and 47 seconds. Pitt Martin to Jerry Korab. Harrison bumped into him. Then Korab bumped into Bond. Harrison shoots the puck into the Chicago zone. Back of the net for Stapleton. For Nestorenko. Stopped by Sittler to Harrison. For Trottier and Sittler. Sittler gets a loose shot. Great save by Esposito. Chicago 2, Toronto 1, 6:25 left. Tony Esposito was very sharp in that shot of Darryl Sittler. Sittler came up with a loose puck in the Chicago end from about 35 feet out, and Esposito stopped it and forced the face-off to give Chicago a chance to change the forward line. And there's Stan Mikita back. Stan Mikita back gets, and he gets the face-off, giving it to Bill White. Around it comes to Nadeau. It went out to center ice, stopped by Bond, who shot it right back in again. Back for it is Stapleton. Stapleton wasting time with 6:09 remaining. A long pass for Dennis Hall. Then for Stan Mikita. He's partially blocked. Harrison fails to get it out. Maggs was checked by Darryl Sittler. Sittler goes down his long wing. Crossing with Harrison. They get all tangled up. And it's Stan Mikita. Dropping it for Maggs. Maggs took a shot. Bond stopped that. Sittler up to Harrison. Harrison over the blue line. Going right through. Mikita goes to the board. Play is called. And we'll have face-off in the Chicago zone to the left.
Lost in a daydream of blue, and I feel so free. And then it's like I fall from the sky. Everything that I see is you. Oh, I adore you.
The 2008 Volvo S80 luxury sedan. Meet yours at the Get Together with a Volvo spring sales event. Lease or purchase and receive a Garmin Nav unit. Ends March 31st.
Chicago 2, Toronto 1, 5:32 remaining. Hawks with Pitt Martin getting it out to center ice. A long shot by Mike Pellick is way high. Goes back up to center ice for McKinney. To Pellick. Set by Pitt Martin. Stopped by Pellick for Keon, too far. Jarrett, then to Magnuson. Then hit Keon. Keon races after it. Squeezed off by Magnuson. A pass to Pitt Martin. Martin goes down at center. Took a long shot into the corner. Gary Monahan. To Mike Pellick. Pellick, a long shot. Esposito stopped that. Shot off the board. Keon trying to keep it in there, but Pitt Martin gets it out for Bobby Hull over the board. It's the shot. And that was just off the corner. Monahan to Pellick. To McMillan. McMillan trying to control it. Went to the side of the net. Keon moved in there as well. McKinney took his shot. That was wide. Pellick lets another one go, and that's high off the glass. McKinney breaks the stick. Monahan tried to get to it. Bobby Hull coming down the ice. He lets his shot go. It's lost stop that, and it goes flying up into the
slap.
Now, one thing, they may say Bobby Hull's not skating as fast, but he's still shooting it just as hard.
Every morning, catch up on everything happening in Chicago sports with McDonald's Sports Rise, only on Comcast Sportsnet. It's the perfect way to start your sports day. McDonald's Sports Rise on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Today, Ozzie Guillen leads the White Sox back into Cactus League action as the team takes on Matt Holliday and the Colorado Rockies live from the desert. White Sox Rockies in widescreen format today at 3 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
All set to go. Jim Dory. Long time for Ellis. There's right there Esposito. He tipped it off to the wing. Toro is given a bump by Ellis. They're trying to dig it out. Players call in a face-off. Face-off in the hot zone. Racer claiming a penalty when he deliberately held the puck against the board. Out-of-town scores now. It's Minnesota having a 4-2 lead over Montreal. Boston 4-1, and we have Buffalo now taking a 3-2 lead over Pittsburgh in the third. Detroit and Philadelphia, that's final. 6-3 Detroit. It's Chicago 2, Toronto 1 with 3:42 remaining. So trying to get it out on the wing, and they'll have it.
There's Carl Henderson, and the nose doesn't look too bad after that shot he got on a Wednesday night and broke it. These hockey players pretty quick healers.
Jim Dory at center. Over it goes to Brad Selwood. Got the puck back of the net. Esposito left it there. White shot it along the boards to fifth goal. Ullman tries to dig it out, so it holds it against the boards again. We have a correction now out of Montreal. It's Minnesota and Montreal tied 3-3. They're still in the third period. Jim Dory, a long shot. Esposito deflected it. Stapleton was given a jolt by Ellis. Dennis Hull gets the puck into the lead zone, and it's Jim Dory with 3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. Trying to get the puck out. It was behind Ullman. Henderson after it. Nesterrenko's got him covered. And the Leafs being checked at every move as the Hawks lead 2-1. We'll have to keep an eye on John Crawford, whether Coach Johnny McCullough is going to make any move in that direction.
Well, with he's not going to be moving for a while, but if it gets down to that last few seconds and they get that face-off in the Chicago end, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Jock Connor or that Connor net. It's just a little bit early yet to anticipate.
Harrison with Sittler and Trottier, Bond and Lee. Puck was pushed ahead with a glove, so do it all over again. Nikita, Dennis Hull, Nesterenko, Magnuson, and Garrett. Harrison. Into Bob Bond. Bob Bond didn't make a play. Tries it twice. Nikita stopped him. Harrison is checked by Makita again. Then Bond covers Makita. And it's Trottier for Harrison. Harrison to Sittler. Sittler closing in into the corner. Magnuson got in front of him. Sittler got it loose, but Garrett was right there to cover up to Dennis Hull. Dennis Hull, a high shot. Bond stopped it. There was a rebound. Dennis Hull in position. It hit Trottier. Return. And it's nowhere near Harrison. Bond knocked it down. Now Landero Sittler will try his luck. Sittler over the blue line. Took a shot off Magnuson. Sittler tried to center it again, and it hit Magnuson's skate and went over the glass into the crowd. A minute and 57 seconds remaining in the game. Chicago 2, Toronto 1.
For Billy Ray on his play, sending out Danny O'Shea to take the face-off, replacing Pitt. McMillan took a shot that was right of the Chicago goal. Bobby Hull shot it to center ice. McKinney blocks it. Over with McMillan into McKinney. McKinney shoots it. And that goes to the corner. And Chico Mackey gets rid of it down the ice. Plot is coming out with 1 minute and 37 seconds. McKinney back for it. McKinney handed it to Pit Martin. Trying to set up Bobby Hull. McKinney pass intercepted by Martin over to Bobby Hull. Beautiful play by Pit Martin as he held it, and watched Bob drag that puck from way behind him and just flipped it up on that short side. He just managed to get a stick on it. But Pit Martin holding that puck and go. He can get it through to Hull, and of all the good chances Hull's had tonight, and he gets the goal and a chance that you wouldn't consider that dangerous.
Chicago goal scored by number 9, Bobby Hull. Assist number 7, Martin. Time 18:30.
18:30. The time of Bobby Hull's goal from Martin is 16th of the year. A long shot by Martin off the target. Picked up by Billy McMillan. He's checked by Chico.
Play in the game.
Less than a minute to go as Martin fell. Monahan to McKinney. McKinney again having difficulty getting it out. McMillan unable to get anywhere. Here's a chance to Bill White. And center ice. Chico Mackey then for Dennis Hall. It's thrown for Dennis Hall. Takes a hard shot. Clock stopped that one, and it's Mike Pellick. Off the boards for Ellis. It goes to Ellis, and it's Dennis Hall with it with 24 seconds left. Long pass, intercepted by Dory. Dory shot it over for Ellis. Stapleton shoots it out again. Brad Selwood, a long shot, but it's outside Ellis. 12 seconds remaining. Set to go, and got it back to Magnuson. Got it right into Dory. Dory just shoots at the left of the ice. Esposito comes out to stop it. He flipped it out to center ice. Henderson going to take a shot, but the bell goes to end the game in just a moment. Our three-side selection.
We sure hope you enjoyed this unique edition of Blackhawk Legends. Two guys with a lot of personality and, of course, a Hall of Fame pedigree. Stan Mikita and Bobby Hull, thanks again for sharing their stories. And just like March 7th, Mikita and Hull were honored, 19th is going to be a special date in Blackhawks history. Tony O. Esposito will be honored March 19th right here inside United Center. You can catch the ceremony here on Comcast Sportsnet, the home of your Chicago Blackhawks. Again, thanks for checking out this edition of Chicago Blackhawk Legends. I'm Dan Kelly. Thanks for watching the greatest game in the world once again.
I'm Kurt Kiner, the Chicago Bulls, watching Comcast Sportsnet.
Coming up on Sports Day.
After back-to-back fourth-quarter meltdowns, the